Hi, it's Ronnie, and welcome to my channel. And welcome to Scraptember with the Scrappy Sisters and Laura Alberts. And it's also 30 Days of Sketches with Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life. And today's prompt is Sequins, and this is a sketch we're using today. I'm going to use 3 photos instead of 1, but I am going to tuck them under my original photo. So I am using my photo similar to what they use the paper. It's a cute sketch, and I love the hearts that's going up the left-hand side. And I got out way too much stuff. I made a really good size kit of this for this month and did fussy cutting and everything in advance. So I pulled everything out practically. I mean, I didn't get it all. This paper here is actually not in the kit. It's Paper Studio, so it's really thin. And my first instinct was to distress it and ink it. Well, I decided it was too thin. Well, I didn't like it once I didn't do it. So I am going to end up doing it. I'm going to get that one inked and decide I need to go back and distress it and ink it again and go ahead and do the other ones the same way. And I thought about getting my close to my heart distressor out. However, I know how it can rough up. And I have used scissors before too. And I decided I'd probably be better off using the scissors because I was afraid I'd tear that thin paper up if I didn't. I cut the side that had the more in it because I like the nails. I usually make them when I do this, but I said since there was some already on there, I was just going to go with the flow. And the layout's got a piece of paper all the way across the back, and then more on top of that, showing the photo in the middle. I didn't plan on putting these all the way across at first, but once I laid them down, I started thinking, maybe I should. I had it planned to put the paper, the gingham, I was going to say plaid, the gingham paper that's in the collection, and have it across the back, and then have these a little taller, wider, longer, whatever, and do it similar to what they have that way. But once I got them up there, I decided I wanted to go ahead and put these all the way across. So I'm going to have to put 2 pieces of paper together to make one long enough, but it's going to be underneath the biggest photo, which isn't that big. And I thought it'd be okay. And you can't even tell it now, of course, because I've got all the photos on top. And I did consider using this as that light blue one. It's got white butterflies, really light in the background. And I considered using it as the paper all the way across. And then to mat my photos. But I had several choices I thought about doing. And then I just decided I would do the fencing all the way across the back instead. I'm making sure I don't have my mats perfect on here because, I was planning on distressing them and inking them. And I am inking them in the peacock feathers instead of the vintage photos, which is what I used on the fence part. And I am going to put the largest photo on foam tape so I can stick the other 2 right under the edge of it. And I will do that probably in a little while. I think when I go to put the chicken wire on there is when I do it. I think they just sit there till then because I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do next. I knew what I wanted to do at the bottom. Well, I thought I did. I'll change my mind on it a little bit too. But I thought I knew what to do down there, so I go down there. Yeah, always go to the thing you know what you're going to do instead of just sitting there, which, I have done that too because I couldn't think of anything to do. I walked away. Here's the scrap, and of course it's not as wide as the other. So I am going to, well, I had it first planned to just put the strip all the way across the bottom. I figured it'd be fine the way it was. And then all of a sudden it hit me to cut it apart like I have the part above there. I pulled one of these strips out. I went ahead and mounted them all on cardstock and fussy cut around them when I was preparing the kit so they'd be sturdier and not be a sticker anymore. And I could move them around and decide where I wanted them because I found out real quick they stick pretty good. You go pull them up, they tear. So I'd rather have them on the cardstock and fussy cut around them. I was looking at this and thought, well, I will need more. First, my intention was to put the viewfinder in a spot there so that I wouldn't have to have that all the way across, and some flowers and stuff. But I decided I wanted it all the way across after all, so I am just going to use this longer piece and then cut the other part to fit so they can go there. But like I said, I'm going to cut them all apart like the part above it. And I liked it better anyway. First of all, it adds more depth because you've inked all those little pieces. And then you've layered them on each other. And texture because of the layering on each other. So yeah, it adds a whole lot to the layout when you do it that way. My title's just going to be Sweetest. I planned on putting girl, and use my Echo Park little die to make the word girl. But I changed my mind and decided just to have Sweetest there. Girl just didn't seem quite like enough. And I thought, if I can't figure out something to go with Sweetest and put it there that I like, I'll just leave it one word. I'm putting some of the chicken wire behind it, so I'm cutting it to fit. And I'll forget how sticky this is compared to thickers. And I tried to move it right after I put it down, and it did not want to move. And I knew that was really thin paper there on the bottom, so I left it. It might be a little more crooked than I wanted, but I have crooked on my layouts all the time, so it's not a big deal. So I just left it. Like I said, I prepared this in advance and fussy cut, so all the flowers you will see that goes on there that isn't punched out, because I had some of them left over that, I'd done a whole bunch of them in advance and used almost all of them, but I had a few left over from the layout that I used them all on. And so all the flowers that's going on here was already pre-fussy cut around and punched and inked and all that good stuff. I fussy cut some butterflies too. I'm going to put 2 of the smaller ones and then one bigger one there in the middle. I'm going to cover that whole area down there at the bottom. I was spending that whole time trying to think of what I was going to do at the top part. So I just kept adding. Since I couldn't figure anything out, I just kept adding. Biggest decision was whether to put another strip of paper underneath the photos and have it go all the way across, or just stick out the edges. And I couldn't think any, and I did look at a couple that was in the kit that I would even want to use there. I like all the papers. I mean, I just love this collection to start with, but I just could make up my mind using it on here, even though the sketch has it. I finally am going to go with just having the photos there and all the planks there in the back instead. I am putting little teeny tiny bits of foam tape under the wings of the butterflies, and then putting the art glitter glue in the middle, so the middle's down against the page and then the wings are sticking up. And I'm also putting it on some of the leaves and part of the flowers. Like if it's that big flower, I'm putting it at the top, so the top sticks out but the bottom don't. And I finally decided it was time for me to tackle the photos in that area there. Well, maybe I didn't. Maybe I thought I was ready to do it. No, I think I am ready now. I am putting some chicken wire behind the photos. I cut several out, and I didn't want to just put them on there and waste them, because I thought maybe I could cut them the right size so that I'd end up with one extra, because I think I started out with 4. I'm pretty sure it's 4. So I am going to cut 2 of them up, I think, and so I will have one left over. But I'm going to tuck them underneath the photos. I decided to go ahead and put them on there first so I know how much I needed to stick out and just kind of do the tucking thing. And I'm going to use the liquid glue to glue them down, but I am going to put some greenery and flowers on it. You can't hardly use chicken wire without putting greenery and flowers on it, or I can't anyhow. And the photos I'm using are of Hope. And I told my son, I need some autumn pictures. I love doing autumn pictures. And I still had some, but I was getting kind of low, and would he take some on photos for me? So he took her to the creek by my house and didn't come on to my house to visit and took her picture. And well, he took about 20 of them. And uh, I had pictures then last year to scrap. Only that's when we had started some little series, and I volunteered to be in it, of course, because it gives me challenges so that I can think outside the box a little instead of doing the same thing over and over. So I got a couple of them done, but that left plenty for me to do this year because I still hadn't touched much of the autumn stuff that I got. More than one person sent me photos once I complained. I had some die cuts cut out. This little green leaf that I'm putting on there, it's one that I got as a free gift with an order from Gina Marie Designs. And I did ink it in the garden green from Close to My Heart. So it's a slightly different color of green. Well, the I used the Simple Stories paper from this collection, but I added the green instead of adding the peacock feathers to it. And on the left-hand side, it has those hearts coming down there. Well, of course, since I really like that part, I couldn't leave it off. So behind the photos, I punched out hearts. I did the black polka dot and also the ones that you see that I'm putting on the page. I'm not putting the black ones on. I'm saving them for another layout. And I'm just going to kind of tumble them down the left-hand side of the page like they did. And I had a plan to put some sprinkles down that side of the page like they did, only I forgot. So there aren't any on there. But I almost made a big mistake. I got in here to do my photo editing and uploaded the uh, video clips and everything and the photos and all this stuff. And it hit me. I couldn't even think of what the prompt was for today. And yeah, I thought, oh, well, I panicked. I'm going to have to take it back in there and add a clip to it, and do it or something because I have to have that prompt on there. It was sequins. Yeah. And I put sequins on the page already. So pretty good. I was happy there. But I've been rambling, and I should have been mentioning all the links down there below. There's the Scrappy Sisters, Jess and Katie, and also Laura Alberts with Scraptember. There's Christy with Christy's Beautiful Life. And then there is a whole bunch of others. Plenty and plenty of inspiration down there. And if you go to Christy's channel, she has a playlist. You can save it to yours. And I think it's up to probably getting close to 300 by the time. But yeah, try the playlist. It helps a whole lot. You just sit there and watch it. You don't have to do anything. It's automatic. But if you leave a comment below, I'll try to get back with you. And if you like the video and hit a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. And if you are not subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you subscribe. And those of you already are, thank you so much. But I'll help you all have a happy, scrappy week. Take care and stay safe. Get some scrappy time in, or at least video watching time, and get some inspiration. Bye.